Welcome to In Her Voice. My name is Kelly Covert, and I am passionate about helping women live authentically by listening to their inner voice. Get ready to be inspired by women of all walks of life that have set aside their should-bes and not good enoughs and are standing in their true voice, the voice of wisdom that each and every one of us has inside. Hello, everyone. This is Kelly Covert, and you are listening to episode 29 of In Her Voice. I am an inner voice coach, and I am so excited that you are here today. And I've been thinking a lot about what I was going to do for the solo show this week, and my inner voice was really telling me to talk about perfectionism. And if you know me, you know that I call myself a recovering perfectionist, and I'm passionate about helping other women who are perfectionists and chronic overachievers really come to understand that worthiness comes from within. It doesn't come from being perfect. And thank goodness it doesn't, because guess what, guys? We are never going to be perfect. I recognize fully that overcoming perfectionism is not something that happens in the blink of an eye. In fact, I've been working on this for years of my life, and it still pops up and bites me in the ass every now and then. I'm telling you that perfectionism comes up, and it gives me just another opportunity to remind myself it's okay that I'm not perfect. It gives me another opportunity to practice overcoming that, to practice the steps that help me to know I am worthy now. So I thought that what we would talk about today is just digging into this idea of perfectionism and really sharing some tools and strategies and practices that you can start using today so you can get into your recovery mode and become a recovering perfectionist like me. So first of all, what is perfectionism? Basically, perfectionism is always about trying to earn approval or acceptance from others. It really is about avoiding, minimizing shame and judgment. So if we're perfect, nobody's going to tell us that we did something wrong. If we're perfect, we're not going to get in trouble. If we're perfect, everyone is going to love us, right? Can I get an amen on that? Do you guys resonate with those feelings? Everything about perfectionism is perception, because we aren't perfect and we're never going to be perfect. So we want everyone to perceive us as such. And when we do that, we know that we're not. And so that also carries with it a feeling of shame, because we don't want anybody to know that we're not perfect. We just want everyone to think we're perfect and that we can do everything. And we know deep inside that we can't. And we are horrified by that thought. Like, what if someone found out that I haven't cleaned my toilet in 3 weeks? Oh my gosh, right? They would judge me. They would say I'm a terrible mother or whatever, right? So it's really about trying to earn approval or acceptance. Oftentimes, I think perfectionists think, well, I'm just trying to be the best me. And let me tell you something. I know all about being the best me, because I grew up. That's how I grew up. I had to be the best at everything. We think that it's about us, but it's really not. It's really not. We think that it's about our expectations of ourselves, but it's not. When we really get to the heart of it, it's about not feeling perfect and not feeling good enough and not wanting anybody to know that, including ourselves. So really, it is about ourselves, but it's also about other people. How does perfectionism hold us back? Okay, well, these are, I think, pretty straightforward. And anybody who's a perfectionist, I think, knows this, but I will share them with you anyway, because it's always good to hear. It steals our joy. If we're not perfect, we feel bummed out. We're depressed or sad or angry or disappointed. And none of those is joy. None of those feel joyful. it's exhausting. Trying to be perfect is exhausting. Trust me. Like if you are tired all the time, sometimes you just need to say, you know what? I don't have it. I don't have it in me right now to be everything to all people. And that's okay. That's okay. But that exhaustion holds us back. It holds us back from showing up as we truly are. If we don't have enough energy to take care of ourselves the way that we need to take care of ourselves, we're not going to be showing up as fully us in this world. So we need that energy, and we can get it by trying to stop being something we will never be. It also oftentimes keeps us from starting things. So I know a lot of people who are perfectionists that dream big. They have huge dreams, and they know that they have all of this potential inside of them. This, I call it inspired potential. We feel it. We feel how amazing we are. And I think that we sense that feeling of not being aligned with that in our actions. But we're worried, well, what if I fail? What if it's not good enough? And that keeps us from ever starting. And then it's this self-perpetuating cycle of not feeling good enough because we're not doing the thing that we know we can do, but we're afraid to do the thing that we know we can do because what happens if it's bad or if it's not perfect or if we fail at that? And so we're stuck in this rut of never doing the thing and always feeling bad about that, and never doing the thing and feeling bad about that. These are all ways that perfectionism really, really holds us back. We often blame lack of perfection as the reason we feel shame or blame and judgment, which is true. So what do we do to help that shame go away or to help that judgment go away? We try to be more perfect, which we will never do. So it's this addictive cycle because oftentimes we do get a little hit of external validation, of affirmation, of you did a great job, of you are amazing. But we don't really believe that because inside we know we're totally faking it. Someone's going to catch us. Someone's going to find out that we have no idea what we're talking about. And so then we try to be more perfect so no one finds out what we really know to be true about ourselves. And here's the thing, ladies. Nobody is perfect. We all have flaws. When we start to bring them out and shine light at them, we're all going to see we're in this together. Nobody has to be perfect. We can lay aside those expectations from everyone. And we can just be here together and do amazing things together and fail together and make mistakes together. Wouldn't that just be amazing? I just love the feeling of that togetherness. Some tools for overcoming perfectionism, and I want to be really clear that these tools are not steps. I'm not calling them like 3 steps or 4 steps to overcoming perfectionism. And this is why. You got to keep doing them over and over and over again. Okay? If you think about a hammer and you're hammering in a nail, it doesn't take just one time unless you're like really strong, which I'm not. I don't know about you. It takes me like 4 times and then I have to take the nail out because it's crooked and then I need to bang on it again, right? This is a tool that you're going to use over and over again as you practice overcoming perfectionism, as you practice recovering from this insidious thing that has kept us stuck and feeling bad about ourselves for so long. So one of my favorite tools for overcoming perfectionism is honoring our flaws and our mistakes. So not only letting them be out there, but honoring them, saying, I made a mistake. I'm sorry, and it's okay, and I'm still worthy. I'll give you the perfect example. There's a woman that I often play with in the orchestra, and I've known her, like really known her, not just see her every now and then, like known her and talked to her and had conversations with her. And I thought her name was Chrissy. And that's what I called her. And she never corrected me. I don't know if maybe she just didn't hear me or whatever, but just a few months ago, this is after years of thinking that she was Chrissy, someone said to me, her name's not Chrissy, her name is Paula. And I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, it's not. Her name is Chrissy. I was arguing with them and they're like, no, it's not. Her name is Paula. I know her name is Paula. And I went up to her later and I could have been embarrassed. And I was a little bit embarrassed, but I could have been ashamed or felt like she was not going to like me or that she was going to think I was crazy. And I just went up to her and I just said, you are not going to believe what happened. And I told her that I just found out her name was Paula. And for like years, I've been thinking that her name was Chrissy. And she thought it was the most hysterical thing. And we laughed about it. All of a sudden, what could have been something very shameful for me or very embarrassing became something that created joy. To me, that is what overcoming perfectionism is. This is one of the greatest tools that we can use. Simply honor our flaws and honor our mistakes and say, yes, that's part of being human. And then that takes us to the next piece, another tool, and that is identifying that, yes, we're human. Yes, we make mistakes. This is our collective experience together. There is no single one of us that is perfect. None of us. And so all of these feelings that we feel when we bump up against flaws, when we bump up against our mistakes, when we bump up against our imperfection, everybody feels that. Every single one of us. And if we can start understanding that we're not alone in that, that also helps us develop deep compassion, not only for others, but also for ourselves. I'm not the only person who feels this way. And it's okay that I do. I love this tool. And that is honoring the power of B+ work. What? And there may be some of you that can't even wrap your head around this. And I have to tell you, I was one of those people. I think in my entire lifetime of schooling, I have made maybe 1 or 2 B's in a class. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm almost embarrassed to say that more than I should be, really. But I was such a perfectionist. I was such a high achiever. I was always pushing. And I didn't need to be. I was exhausted. I was tired. And I wasn't fulfilled. And I didn't feel good about myself, even though I was doing all of that stuff all the time. So what would happen if in our life we could take a step back and we could say, you know what? Today, average is okay. Today, I give myself permission to not be the best. Today, I give myself permission to not be perfect. Be okay with B+ work. Not in everything, but in some things. It's just taking little steps. I'll tell you in my life where I'm a definite B+er. In fact, I would say B+ is being generous, and that is in the area of cleaning my house. That is not something that's a high priority. And it's something that I definitely have my husband help with and I have my kids help with. And I'm okay with that. I can be very transparent about that. That is not my greatest skill. And that is something that certainly I am not perfect about ever. And I'm so okay with that. I'm average. I'm an average housekeeper. And that's good. I'm good with that. So these are just a few tools and strategies that can really help you get started into your own practice of overcoming perfectionism and really stepping into your own worthiness, your everyday worthiness. Every single day, you are enough. Even if you get an F in something. Do we actually think of giving ourselves grades and things? I don't really do that anymore. But this idea of like failing, sometimes failing is the best thing that you can do because we learn so much from failing. We start to understand what we need to do differently when we fail. If we're never stepping out and starting something because we're afraid of failing, we're never doing anything. We're never growing. We're never changing. I really, really encourage you to understand that these are practices. It's just like someone who's recovering from anything. It's easy to slip back in. And again, when you slip back in, you know what? You don't have to be perfect at being a recovering perfectionist. It's so okay. And there are going to be times when it comes back up. Many of you have been living decades of your life as a perfectionist. It's not something that's going to be one and done. It's a practice. And when we practice, we do something over and over and over again, and that skill gets better. What I want you to practice is to practice your worthiness, to practice accepting and honoring your flaws and your mistakes, to practice understanding that we're all in this together and that we all feel this way some of the time, and to practice giving yourself permission to be average, giving yourself permission to do a B+ work every now and then, or in some areas of your life, because that really takes the pressure off and it allows you to breathe and it allows you to relax. I hope that you've enjoyed this little discussion of perfectionism. It goes so much deeper than this. I'm really excited to let you guys know that I have created a course on overcoming perfectionism. And it's an email course. It's delivered to you over the course of 4 weeks. And it includes a video plus a whole bunch of really heart-centered practices for you to put into action, for you to practice day after day after day, to develop the sense of worthiness, to work on letting go of the shame, to work on accepting your imperfections. And I created this for you, for all of you out there who struggle with this idea that you have to be perfect, for all of you who are exhausted because you just can't do it anymore, for all of you who feel like you're going to get found out any second and someone's going to figure out that you're faking it. I get it, you guys. I have felt all of those feelings. And this course was created for you if you're feeling that. So if you want to dive deeper into this idea of overcoming perfectionism, if you're ready to let that go, to create more space for all of the wonderful things in your life that aren't perfect, but that are you, I encourage you to check out the course at kellycovert.com/perfectionism. And if you can't remember that link, that's totally fine. You know what? Because you're not perfect. You can just go to my website, kellycovert.com, and click on the shop tab. And I just created a new shop and the course is right in there. And there's also some other like really fun things that I just love. And some of them, if you click on them or subscribe or buy, I may get a little percentage back. So I appreciate you buying through my shop if those are things that you would normally be interested in anyway. So be sure to check out Overcoming Perfectionism, my new course, over at kellycovert.com. And if this was a show that you really loved, please share it, pay it forward, and share it with your friends, with your girlfriends, with your sisters, with your mothers, with your neighbors. We all need to hear this message. Remember, every day you matter. Even in your imperfectness, you are worthy.